On the morning of June 20th, 1994, emergency services in Dunedin, New Zealand, received a phone call just after 7:09 a.m. The caller was a 22-year-old man named David Bain. His voice was controlled, but strained. He told the dispatcher that his family was dead. Police arrived at the Bain residence on every street minutes later. The house was small, cluttered, and dark inside. It was the kind of home where belongings accumulated slowly over time. Papers, dishes, clothing. Nothing out of place enough to immediately draw attention. What officers found instead was silence. 5 members of the Bain family were dead inside the house. David Bain was the only survivor. According to his statement, he had been out delivering newspapers early that morning, as he did 6 days a week. He said he left the house shortly after 5 a.m., while the rest of his family was still inside. When he returned, sometime after 6:45 a.m., he discovered the bodies and called for help. Police began documenting the scene. The victims were found in different rooms throughout the house. The distribution suggested movement, someone going from room to room. There were no signs of forced entry, no indication that anyone outside the household had broken in. A rifle was recovered at the scene. Investigators noted something unusual almost immediately. A handwritten note had been found on a computer in David Bain's bedroom. The message read, "Sorry, you are the only one who deserved to stay." The wording raised questions. Who was it written for? And when? During interviews, David maintained that his father, Robin Bain, was responsible for the killings, followed by his own death. Police did not dismiss this theory outright. Robin Bain had been awake early that morning. He was known to rise before the rest of the household. But as investigators worked through the timeline, problems emerged. Ballistics testing showed inconsistencies between the rifle's condition and David's account. Footprints at the scene appeared to match David's socks. Blood evidence suggested movement through the house after the initial attacks. Most troubling was the timeline. For David's version of events to be accurate, his father would have had to kill 4 family members in separate rooms, leave the handwritten message, return the rifle, and then take his own life, all within a narrow window of time. Police reconstructed David's paper route. They interviewed witnesses. Some reported seeing him earlier than expected. Others could not confirm seeing him at all. The house itself added to the confusion. It was not staged. It was not cleaned. It looked lived in, right up until it wasn't. Investigators described it as a place where routine had simply stopped mid-motion. In 1995, David Bain was charged with 5 counts of murder. At trial, the case hinged almost entirely on procedure. Timelines, bloodstain analysis, handwriting evaluation. There were no eyewitnesses, no confession, no clear motive. David was convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment. Years later, the case was reopened. New forensic reviews questioned earlier conclusions. Expert witnesses disagreed on blood patterns and timing. The reliability of the handwritten note was debated again. In 2009, after a retrial, David Bain was acquitted. To this day, no one has been legally held responsible for the deaths of the Bain family. The house on every street was demolished. What remains most unsettling is not the verdict, but the record itself. In the official police timeline, there is a gap, less than 30 minutes, during which everything happened. No neighbors heard anything. No one saw anyone leave. and the house, when first entered, was still locked from the inside.